We're shipping Mother's Day gifts with a rapid-fire round of questions. Ready?
Yes. My gift. Can you pack it?
Yep.
Ship it?
Yes.
Guarantee it?
Of course.
Oh, send gift baskets?
For sure.
Protect electronics? Dog-proof it? Return it if they hate it?
Yes, no, and yeah.
Are you the UPS store?
Hey, we have a winner!
Visit the upsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Visit a store today.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
The sound of praise for your Sunday morning.
The only one who could ever teach me.
Introducing Reverend A.R. Bernard of the Christian Cultural Center.
Was the son of a preacher man.
And Rabbi Joseph Potasnik of Religion on the Line.
The only one who could ever teach me.
Now, here's the Rev and the Rabbi, where faith matters.
Good morning, I'm Rabbi Joseph Potasnik.
And I'm Reverend A.R. Bernard.
Reverend, we are so blessed to have with us His Eminence Timothy Cardinal Dolan, with whom we are close professionally, with whom we are close personally. It is really an honor to have Your Eminence on the phone with us.
It's an honor to be with you, Rabbi and Reverend, and it must be Passover and Easter because you're saying nice things about me, Joe. Thank you.
Well, not yet. Let me just say this, just to protect my interest as well as yours. This is pre-recorded, so there's no use of technology on this sacred day.
That's right. That's right. We're all in a house of worship this morning.
Yeah. Your Eminence, we have, as you have, people who are with us every Sabbath, every holiday. There are those who come sporadically, of course, of those who don't come. How do we craft a message that resonates for both groups that are present?
Well, I'll tell you this. I get asked that all the time, especially at Christmas and Easter. They'll say, look, your churches are jammed in Lent and Holy Week and Easter. Your churches are jammed in Advent and Christmas, and then you don't see them. I say, I wish we did, but I'm grateful for the chance to pray with them and to be with them at limited times of the year. And two things. Number one, I hope they enjoy it, and they tell me they do. So every time I offer Mass during those sacred holy days, I say, I hope you enjoyed being with us as much as we enjoyed having you. If you did enjoy it, hey, we do this every Sunday, so come on back, and I'll be darned some of them do. And secondly, Reverend Bernard and Rabbi Potasnik, I think we got there's a natural analog in this too. How many people do we say, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the holy days, Easter, we get together with the family. It's such a great meal. We laugh, we tear up over sad things, we hug, we enjoy one another, and we say, why do we only do this at the holidays, the holy days? Why don't we start doing this every Sabbath? And they say the same thing. And this is our family time together, the holy days, the Passover, Christmas, Easter. We love having the family together. We wish we could do it more often. And I hope some of them do come back, and I think they do. And secondly, my two brothers, aren't we supposed to try, as daring as this sounds, to adopt a posture of God, of the divine, and say, look, they're all my children anyway. And sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they sin. Sometimes they lead virtuous lives. I invite them. I never forget them. I've made a covenant with them that I'm not going to break. I just savor them wherever. So I think we should be more like the Lord.
Yeah, we're thankful they're there. Let me ask you one other point here. Both Passover and Easter talk about beginning again. In Jewish tradition, if you look at the Talmud, it begins on page 2 rather than page 1. And I think there's a message there that we also have to learn how to live on page 2. That there comes a time when we're born, we begin life, but we have to, in a sense, be reborn, begin life again.
Yeah. Well, A.R. will back me up here, Joe. That's what Jesus told us. You got to be reborn by water and the Holy Spirit. And you are right, Rabbi. Rebirth is at the heart of religion. We're constantly being renewed. We are God's work of art, the Bible tells us. He's never finished with us. He's always refining. He's always touching up. He's always repairing the cracks. He's always calling us to a greater nobility. He's never done with us. We should never be done with ourselves. And I'm glad we got a God of second chances. I'm glad we got a God of the Mets and not just the Yankees. You know what? There's always another chance. There's always another year.
I'm from Boston. I'm well aware. Yeah.
Cardinal, let me ask you a question. There's a wonderful passage in the Gospel of Luke where the women come to Jesus' tomb on resurrection morning, expecting to find his lifeless body. And an angel appears and asks this very powerful question: why do you look for the living among the dead? And it remains a powerful question today because people are looking for meaning, they're looking for purpose, but they're looking in places that can't offer it. Speak to that, please, Cardinal.
One of the most astounding passages in Scripture, Reverend Bernard, I agree with you. Why you can almost see the angel exasperated. Why are you looking for the living among the dead? He's alive. He's still with you. He ain't with you. And you were right. Is not what Rabbi Potasnik, what was in the drama of the Passover, the Exodus, the people of Israel, they kind of wanted to go back to where they were dead. Let's go back to Egypt. At least we had some decent food. At least we had the homes over our heads. At least we had a place to go at night. Let's go back. They're kind of wanting to go back to the dead, where they were not free, where they did not have the liberty of God's people, where they did not have their dignity protected. We're always wanting to go to what hurts us, to what kills us. Why do we keep doing the stuff that drags us down? Why do we keep doing the stuff that deadens us? Why do we keep doing the stuff that kind of extinguishes everything that's decent and victorious and noble in our sentiments? We're trying to do that. That's that sinful impulse and urge that we got within us. And you're right, A.R. That's what the angel said on Easter morning. Look, you're here in a cemetery, and he's out and about alive. He's still with you until the end of days. Go find him, because Lord knows he's looking for you.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what faith tradition. People are people, and people continue to seek meaning and in success, but success fades. We search for identity and relationship, but people can disappoint us. We try to numb pain with distractions, but the emptiness still comes back. It returns.
Yeah. Can we get back? You guys brought up something a couple of minutes ago about Reverend Bernard. It was your citing that stunning quotation, why are you looking for the living among the dead? So all three of us kind of become experts on reading religious data, of looking to the studies that come out. And there's a lot of good ones. Sometimes they cause us heartburn, but sometimes they give us a lot of hope. And one of the things I've noticed, and this was particularly surprising to me because it was a sociological religious study on young men today in America, and it was saying that there's this kind of spike among young men in the United States who are now seeking faith and religion. Now, it's surprising because most of the time we believe in the old canard that religion and faith is kind of the men sort of stand outside the churches and smoke, and the women go inside. And secondly, we don't think that young men would be interested in religion. And I'll be darned, these sociological statistics now might show us that they're coming back. Now, I'm wondering, first of all, if you two sense that. Number two, I'm wondering if that ties in what you said earlier, Reverend Bernard, when you're kind of doped into following leads to happiness in life that really lead to deadening results, you're going to begin to search somewhere else. And is that the reason, again, it's not a revolutionary thing, but at least it's a tendency, is that the reason they're coming back?
You know, there's a prophetic, it's in the book of Isaiah, word that says, why do you spend your money on those things that can't satisfy? And there seems to be something inside of us that we're always looking for something more, for something else. And we look in all of these places that are simply a distraction, only to find ourselves empty. And I think it's that restlessness. I think it's Augustine of Hippo who said that we continue in our restlessness, I'm paraphrasing, until we find our rest in God. And isn't that what we're doing in our faith traditions? Pointing people to the transcendent, pointing them to something that's greater than all of us, to find that place of rest and security and safety and meaning and purpose. Isn't that what we're doing, Rabbi?
Well, I'm going to weigh in on this, but I've been told we got to take a break. So with your permission, we'll be back in just a few moments.
Reverend A.R. Bernard, Rabbi Joseph Potasnik, where faith matters. The Rev and the Rabbi.
So good, so good, so good.
Great gifts for mom? We've got them. And they're up to 60% off at Nordstrom Rack stores now.
You know they have Marc Jacobs?
Gotta show mom some love.
That is so good.
Snag amazing deals on Mother's Day gifts from Barefoot Dreams, Kate Spade New York, and more. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Where faith matters. The Rev and the Rabbi.
Welcome back. I'm Rabbi Joseph Potasnik.
And I'm Reverend A.R. Bernard.
You know, the question we left with before the break was, do we find young men coming back? I find in many circles there are young people, both men and women, who are saying, we feel a void. We were told you got to be successful in this world. And success was defined as materialistic success. And we were very successful financially. But we realized there was something else missing. And as we explored, we recognized that in a synagogue, in a church, in a house of worship, there is a sense of validation. I feel like I'm necessary in this world. The second thing I find is that with people, many of them were religious, so to speak, in acts of good deeds, that they were out there volunteering in food pantries, volunteers in hospitals or in other settings. And I would say to them, you're already doing something that is asked by our faith. So, we'd appreciate your being in the house of worship, but it's when you leave the house of worship, look what you're doing. That counts as well, rather than saying, oh, I'm not religious because I don't go to services on the Sabbath.
Yeah. AR, are you finding it? I don't know if you ever experienced.
I will tell you. I again, don't judge by my experience. It could be something to inspire because for the first 2/3 of the last 4 decades that we have been in ministry, we have had more men in church than women in terms of membership. And
Mm-hmm.
I asked, why? And we found that men were coming because they were looking for identity, strength, order, meaning, and purpose. And we were giving that out. We were, tying that to their faith. And we continue, it's kind of flipped where it's just fewer men now than women. But in the majority of Christian churches, the male population is 15 to 20%. So when you have more than that, there has to be something special that's drawing. But we found those things: identity, strength, order, meaning, and purpose, and camaraderie amongst men. So we're experiencing it.
But Your Eminence, didn't we also find that we as clergy looked within, and we weren't just pointing a finger at others not coming, we're saying, wait a minute, maybe we have some responsibility here as well. Maybe there's something we're not doing. I remember you telling a group of us one day, nobody wants to come and hear a grumpy old guy just, just excoriate them for not being there. There's got to be something more.
That's not true. They're listening to 3 of them now. I don't know.
But I think
But Joe, Rabbi Potasnik, go back to what you said about an emptiness that we see a lot of our young adults. Is that not in almost like COVID-like nature here in New York?
Right.
I meet so many young men, and yes, some young women, but we're kind of saying here how happily surprised we are that young men are coming back. I meet so many young men who have come from outside of New York, and they said, everybody at home is celebrating. I landed a job in New York. Isn't he great? He's on Easy Street. He's got it set. He's got his career. He's in big time. He's in the town that never sleeps. And these folks said these young men say, we were so excited to come here, and now we're frustrated. We work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. We don't have time for friendship. We don't have time for reading. We don't have time for anything but to work. On our day off, we sleep in because we're so exhausted. We don't even try to worship or go to synagogue or church. And darn it, something's missing.
Yeah.
This was not what it was cracked up to be. And I'm thinking, way to go.
The song, Is That All There Is?
You got it.
Right. Rev?
But isn't that what we teach from the pulpit? Because they're trying to learn from us how to live. The whole idea of the Sabbath as a principle, we teach in our congregation. There has to be a work-rest rhythm, and you rest so you can work, and not the other way around. So we teach our men to be responsible, to be foundational. We subscribe to the traditional model of family, the role of the man as a leader, complemented by his wife. And we try to give them principles and patterns that they can follow to be a successful man, a successful leader, a successful husband, a successful father. And that formula has worked, gentlemen, for the last, 4 decades.
What's the purpose of the Sabbath for all of us? Wasn't the Sabbath a day, not just God rested, but God rested and looked within. In Hebrew, vayinofash, he looked at the inner being, the inner soul. All of us have to look and say, what more is there for me? It's not just to sleep. And I think in that sense, we offer more than in that secular world.
Well, let me ask you two friends, flowing from that, Reverend Bernard and Rabbi Potasnik, flowing from that. Some of these sociologists also tell us, And these sociologists might be skeptics. They might be atheists. They're not believers. They're simply interpreting data. One of the things they say is that marriage and family is good, good, good. It is good for the person. It is good for the couple. It's good for the family. It's good for the nation. It's good for our community. And it is good for faith and religion. We find traditionally that there's a gap between when a young man or woman will leave the nest and when he or she begins a nest of their own with a husband, with a wife, and then with children. That's where they reconnect with religion. One of the challenges we got is that gap is getting wider and wider because people aren't getting married till later and later and later. And some of the sociologists are saying that's not really good. It's not good for man to be alone. It's not good for a woman to be alone. They drift. They start seeking pagan gods. They get into deadening habits. They start looking for the living among the dead. And I just would love to know, A.R., I think if I read your excellent literature correct, you have a very kind of a real well-oiled, vigorous campaign to have young men and women get married and start families. And Rabbi, I don't know if that's a value among our Jewish friends as well. I think with Catholics.
One of the statements in the Bible, as you know, is it's not good to be alone. By the way, it doesn't say it's so bad. It just says it's not good. It doesn't say it's not good to be alone. And marriage is right up there as one of the great priorities. And you know that years ago, a house of worship was a house of gathering, was a place to meet others. And if you were looking for that soulmate, stress on soul, you went to the house of worship. That's where you would find someone with whom you could connect.
Yeah, it's true. I delight. One of the sounds I revel in at Sunday Mass, it irritates some people. I love it when babies are crying. Yeah. I'm saying, hey, this is an angelic chorus here, folks. Yeah. This means we got a future. This means we got mom and dad for whom the Sabbath is so important that they got the kids here and they're praying and worshiping together. I think that's one of the greatest things around.
See, for us in our congregation, baby dedications take place the third Sunday of every month, and it's a community event. All of the families come forward. They bring their babies. They're all dressed up. There's going to be a photo op. We give them a Bible with the baby's name on it and all of that. We have a congregational prayer together, and we really make it a big deal. So whenever we only have a few families and a few babies, I rebuke my congregation. I say, you guys need to step it up here. We've got to have a tax base for the future.
Now, what do you mean step it up? You want them? What does that mean there, Rev? You know, your Eminence,
we've got to have a tax base. We won't have a tax base if we keep this up.
Yeah. Your Eminence, I know you have to run soon.
Well, I love you guys, and you've just made my Holy Week and Easter a heck of a lot better being with you. And I wish you and your people all my love and best wishes.
Thank you so much. And I have some extra matzah left over for you, Your Eminence. I'd love you to take some of that.
If I can put peanut butter and jelly on it, I'll take it. All right.
You got it.
See you all soon.
Thank you so much.
Blessings.
Blessed day,
Your Eminence. Yeah. And stay tuned for more of the Rev and the Rabbi right here on Red Apple Radio Networks.